Can we talk about how gangster that is? I just, he said, I didn't come here to be a nice guy. I came here to fuck shit up. I'm like a whole Limp Bizkit song right now. It's like, I'm a Kid Rock song. Yeah, yeah. Show me some metal and say, yeah. Jesus is like a whole death metal song. He's like, I didn't come to be a nice guy. I came to fuck shit up. Everybody's going to fight. It's going to be a good time. That was it. That's the whole gangster Jesus. It's like, can we just talk about how fucking cool that is? And then not only that, but he rolled up in their own church. He was saying this shit in their own church. I'm sorry, but Jesus is the baddest motherfucker sometimes. He's like, I know people don't want me calling Jesus a mofo, but man, he's a badass though. Just, he gives no shits about nothing. And then he said, if you love people, you can't be my friend. It's like, well, I don't love anybody. I want to be your friend. I am your saint of awesome, your superstone sage, the most amazing Saint Nikki K the Great. It's going to come up right here. See, Nikki K the Great. That is me. Welcome to my humble abode. And what we do here in this most amazing place, smoking is allowed, but what we do here is we read this great ass book. It's called God Said, because God did not say that shit. This is God's unofficial biography, Das Bible, as read by yours truly, the most amazing saint of awesome, your superstone sage, Saint Nikki K the Great. And also, the most amazing thing about this is we're reading part 2, and the name of that is Jesus Who. And this is about God's little guy. Yeah, I know, we're still in the middle of Teenage God's story, but while reading Teenage God's story, well, a future question popped up about baby God. So, is it good? Yeah. Okay. So, oh, everybody say hi to Henry. Henry's here. So, anyway, we're reading about little dude, baby God. His name is Jesus. And a lot of people don't know that guy. So, we're reading about him and we're going to meet him. Okay. We're fast forwarding a whole lot because we need to hear about baby God because that's the most important thing right at this point where we are in the future. We need to know baby God. So, if that sounds like fun to you, come this way. I have the 6Cs for whatever time it is where you are. I have cannabis, cigarettes, coffee, chair with your name on it, and also right next to Henry. Yeah, I also have cat pads in canine space. So, bring your animals and come this way. We have good time. So, what I am going to do while we're doing this, I am going to go ahead and share it out in the YouTube universe. Okay. I appreciate that, cousin. But we are stopping and we are going to, uh, I'm going to go and share this in a few places where I know people. So I am going to tell you, I am going to redo what I did yesterday because I feel like it is something that all the people that watch me need to hear. And I have a feeling a lot of them will be here today. That's okay, Ricky. You can watch me in a little bit. But anyways, this is something that I think that needs to be heard. Ricky will have to miss out, I suppose. But at least he pressed like, and also press like and subscribe. It'd be totally amazing. Things are happening. We are about to be starting this. I promise. I swear. But I had to do some things first. Okay. So now we have it to where I can read the chat and I can read this book and look at you and we have a good time. So let's go on this journey. Let me know what you're drinking and smoking and what coast are you coming in from. You don't have to tell me where you're coming from, but like what coast? Like the mid coast, the east coast, the west coast, no coast, north coast, south coast, west coast, every coast. You can let me know where you come from, what you're drinking, and what you're smoking. I'm drinking soda and I'm not smoking anything. But we are on chapter 9. We're restarting this. I'm rereading it and I'm hoping People come. I don't know how long I've been live. 7 minutes. I really want CNA to be here, but I know he's watching and he's not going to tell me he's here because it's important that he's here, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, so Jesus is leaving Capernaum and he got in a boat and crossed over and he came to his own city. Okay, his own city. And behold, they were bringing him a paralytic lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith, said to the paralytic, "You just broke my roof. Fix it." Okay. And some of the scribes said to themselves, "How is this guy going to fix his roof?" And Jesus said, "Well, who the hell else is going to fix my roof? They literally put a hole in it and he literally can move. So now he can fix my roof." Okay. Would it be easier to say, "Go ahead and leave and don't fix my roof"? And then we have a giant hole in the roof. I don't want a hole in my roof. So I'm telling him to fix my roof. And then he fixed Jesus' roof. And when the multitude saw this, they were filled with awe and glorified God who had given such authority to men. Not men, a man, literally one dude. Not man, not men, one man. And he's baby God. Okay. And as Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man called Mathew. Other Bibles, they call him Levi, but his name is Mathew. These people have a real time with changing motherfuckers' names, but his name is Mathew. Okay. Sitting in the tax office, and he was like, "You look bored as fuck. Come on." So he was bored as fuck, and then he was like, "Come on." And it happened that as he was reclining at a table in the house, many tax gatherers and sinners came and were dining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, who were in the same place for some reason, they said to his disciples, "The fuck, yo." But when Jesus heard this, he said, "Only sick people need a doctor. And these people are sick, and I'm Dr. Jesus. I do great things." Yeah. But go and learn what this means. I, de- I desire compassion, not sacrifice. For I did not come for the righteous, but to the sinners. Then the disciples of John were like, "Why do all of us fast and not you?" And Jesus is like, "Because we're not sad. One day we'll be sad, but right now we're not sad, so we don't have to fast. There's no reason to be sad. But soon there will be a reason to be sad." Yep. And while he was saying these things to them, behold, there came a synagogue official and did the face thing before Jesus and said, "My daughter just died. Come and fix her." So Jesus followed and the disciples went with him. And behold, bow down and you will live. So, okay. And behold, a Nikki K ancestor suffering for some terrible shit up and thought, "Man, if I could just touch him." And she touched him. And Jesus, turning around, was like, "You're fine." And then she was fine. It was really weird. And when Jesus came into the official's house and saw all the people making a bunch of commotion, he said, "Get the fuck out of here. She's playing dead. She's not even dead. You guys are full of shit." So he went over there and took her hand and was like, "Okay, stop. You're fine." And she was not sleeping anymore. And this news went out into all the land. And Jesus passed on from there. And two blind men followed behind him, saying, "Son of David, we want to see color green." And they were just following him, and everybody's like, "Be quiet." And then Jesus turned around and was like, "Do you think that I'm that guy who can help you see the color green?" And they're like, "Oh, you are the guy that can see the color green." And then he's like, "Well, open your eyes." And bam, color green. It was fantastic. It was like a whole thing. And then they was like, "It's green and then there's brown. Oh, we have good time." Okay. And after he had come into the house, no, okay. And they were like, the color green. And Jesus was like, don't tell nobody. So they went out and told everybody. And as they were going out, a not so smart demon possessed guy was brought to him. And after the demon was cast out of the not so smart guy, then he started telling everybody about the stock market. And then everybody was like, holy shit, what's a stock market? But the Pharisees were saying, he cast out demons, boy, demons. And Jesus was going to. His concert and wellness clinic was going all over the region. He was stopping at places and doing his tour and his wellness clinic, and everybody was all up in there. And all the Pharisees were pissed. And seeing the multitudes, he felt compassion for them because they were distressed and downcast, like sheep without a shepherd. And then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Except for in the party pen, there is no harvest. There should be eventually one day. People will be here. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers. Yeah, send out more people. Yeah. Okay. And having summoned his disciples, he gave them authority over every unclean spirit to cast them out, to heal every kind of disease, every kind of sickness. Now, the name of the apostles are these: Simon, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas. These 12 Jesus sent out after instructing them, saying, do not go the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter any city of the Samaritans. Hey, Miss Muddy, how are you? We are on chapter 10. I just read chapter 9. We are on chapter 10. I did this yesterday, but I feel like more people needed to hear it, so I am doing it again today. So we just named off the 12 disciples, but rather go to these terrible ass God people. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. Freely you receive, freely give. Do not acquire gold or silver or copper for your money belts, or a bag for your journey, or even 2 tunics, no sandals, or a staff, for the worker is worthy of his support. And to whatever city or village you enter, inquire who is worthy in it, and abide there until you go away. And as you enter the house, give it your greeting of peace. Hello, house, peace be with you. But if it is not worthy, take your greetings and your peace back and say, house, you suck. And whoever doesn't receive you, nor heed your words as you go out of that house or city, shake the dust off your feet. Because listen, I'm telling you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for this city. Because listen, I'm telling you, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be as shrewd as serpents and as innocent as doves. That's why we're sheep dressed like wolves. We fit in to get in. Fucking right. We are shrewd and smart. Oh, shit. Yeah, you should probably fix that. But, um, but anyway, we're like sheep dressed like wolves. We're smart, we're shrewd, and we're innocent-ish. Except for, we're not innocent-ish. But, I mean, I guess now that we know Jesus, we are. But we didn't used to be. Beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the courts and scourge you in their synagogues. And you shall even be brought before the before the governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. When they deliver you up, don't care about what you're going to say because God's going to say it for you. It is not you who speaks, but God. Duh. Everybody knows that. And brother will deliver up brother to death, and father his children, and children his parents, and cause them all to be put to death. And and you will be hated by all on account of my name. But it is the one who has endured to the end who will be saved. Angel Boot Camp. That's what I was saying. Down here is Angel Boot Camp. We have to learn to be good at what they do, but good while we do it. We're down here to learn how to fight in the army up there. We come down here to be soldiers in the army of the Lord. We come down here as neutral ions, and we become positive or negative based on what we're surrounded by and what we choose to be surrounded by. And the devil also has people. It's a demon boot camp too. So we're striving against each other physically, learning how to strive against each other spiritually. And the one who endures on the good side gets to go up and go to heaven. But only if you don't take the coward way out. You have to endure all the way to meet God, to see God, to go into his army. It's something like that. It's something like that. But whenever they persecute in this city, flee to the next. Because listen, I'm telling you, you shall not finish going through the cities of these terrible ass God people until the Son of Man comes. A disciple is not above his teacher, nor a slave above his master. It is enough for the disciple that he become as his teacher, and the slave as his master. If they have called the head of the house an asshole, how much more do the members of his household? Therefore, do not fear them, for there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in darkness, speak in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim it on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the soul, but rather fear him that can kill both. Are not two sparrows sold for a penny, and yet not one of them will fall to the ground without God? But the very hairs of your head are numbered. Therefore, do not fear. You are of more value than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who will confess me before men, I will confess him before my Father in heaven. But whoever shall deny me before men, I will also deny him before my Father who is in heaven. Could you imagine being the motherfucker that Jesus, in a room full of people, Jesus is like, I don't even know you. And you're like, yeah, no, but I did all these things. I did these things in your name. I did them in your name. And then Jesus is still like, yeah, but I didn't ask you to do that. Could you imagine being that guy? I don't want to be that guy. Like, I know Jesus. He's my friend, my imaginary friend, really fucking cool guy. I don't want to be the guy that like, no, I don't know you. Security. Do not think that I came to bring peace. Jesus is so fucking gangster. And why doesn't anybody understand what this means? Okay. Don't think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not. I came to bring a sword. I'm gonna fuck y'all up. For I came to set a man again. I came to fuck shit up. I came to piss off as many people as I possibly can. I want to piss off as many people as I possibly can. That's what I want to do, right? And everybody's going to fight everybody because of me, and it is going to be funny. Okay. He who loves anyone more than me cannot be my friend. You have to hate everyone to be my friend, which is why you can only find Jesus when you're at your lowest point. Jesus comes to you when you have absolutely nothing left to love, and he comes to you and gives you things to love. You got to be at your absolute lowest. Okay. And he who does not come and commit felonies and will not follow me is not worthy of me. That is not what that says. But I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. When you're on the cross, you've committed mad felony, dude. You are getting the death penalty. That is a death penalty. And Jesus is saying, if you don't pick up your death penalty, you can't come with me. But you know what? I guess this whole thing Jesus has been saying, they're going to fuck you up because of me. So maybe he did say cross because he has been telling them, look, you talk about me, you're going to be in trouble. Maybe I needed to read this again for my sake. Okay. Anyway, if you don't pick up your cross and follow me, you're not worthy. He who has found his life shall lose it, and he who has lost his life for my sake shall find it. Right. You see Jesus when you're absolute lowest. You meet him when there's nothing left. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me. He who receives a prophet and the name of a prophet receives a prophet reward. He who receives a righteous man and the name of a righteous man will receive a righteous man's reward. And whoever in the name of a disciple gives to one of these little ones even a cup of cold water, listen, I'm telling you, he shall not lose his reward. So, press like and subscribe. What does everybody think so far? When Jesus said, I didn't come to be nice, I came to fuck shit up. It's like, oh yeah, that's the most amazing shit ever. Jesus is like, I'm gonna pit this guy against this guy, and it's going to be fun. Like, what do you think about that? Hi, it's nice to see you. Welcome. We're on Matthew chapter 11. We're in between chapters right now. We're about to read chapter 11 of Matthew. But we just got over the part where Jesus is like, I'm here to fuck shit up and piss everybody off. Everybody's going to hate everybody. And it is going to be funny. I know you're here for his word, Miss Muddy, but what do you think about it? Like, Jesus is like, I give no fucks. I came to piss everybody off. Like, I think that is, Jesus is so gangster. Jesus is just so blunt and to the point. And everybody's like, no, he's so nice and he's so kind. It's like, no, Jesus is a motherfucker, man. I would hate to be the one that Jesus is talking shit to because he just does it so smooth. Like, you don't even realize he's talking shit about you until he's like 3 blocks away. We're going on to chapter 11. And it came about that when Jesus had finished giving his instructions to his disciples, he departed from there to continue his tour in their cities. And when Jean in prison heard of the works, he sent word by his disciples and said, are you the guy? Because I know we were expecting the guy, and I know John already said you were the guy, but we need to make double extra sure you're the guy. And Jesus is like, well, come on, you can do your own research. Because that is how you get red pilled. You do your own research. So Jesus is like, come do your own research and you'll see. Right? Even the poor are going to be teach das Bible. Look, come and see for yourself. Hi, everyone. Say hi to Henry. And blessed is he who keeps from stumbling over me. For some reason, hold on. Come do your own research. Even the poor will have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he who keeps from stumbling over me. So don't get it confused. Jesus ain't the one. I'm just kidding. Don't get it confused. Jesus is the one. Come get some. Come get the blood. Okay. So then Jesus is like, blessed is he who keeps. Jesus is the one. That's pretty much what he's saying. And as these things were going away, Jesus began to speak to the multitude about John. He says, what did you go out in the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind. But what did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing. Behold, those who are in soft clothing are in palaces. But why did you go out? To see a prophet? Yep. more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. Because listen, I'm telling you, among those born of women, there has not arisen anyone greater than Jean the Baptiste. Yet he who is least in the kingdom is greater than he. So every fucking weirdo counts. Look, and from the days of Jean, this is where my theory comes in, okay? And from the days of John until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and violent men take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you care to accept it, he himself is Elijah who was to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. But to what shall I compare this generation? It's like children sitting in the marketplaces who go out to the other children and say, we played music and you did not dance. We sang sad songs and you didn't even cry. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and you called him demon possessed. But I came eating and drinking, and you call me a drunk. Which I may be drunk, but that's not the point. And yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds. And he began to reproach the cities in which most of his miracles were done because they did not repent. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Chorazin, Bethsaida. For if the miracles occurred in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. Nevertheless, I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon in the day of judgment than for you. And Capernaum, you will not be exalted to heaven, will you? You shall descend to hell. For if the miracles had occurred in Sodom, which had occurred in you, it would have remained to this day. Nevertheless, listen, I'm telling you, it'll be more tolerable for Sodom in the day of judgment than you. At that time, Jesus continued and said, I praise thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you did hide these things from the wise and intelligent and decided to reveal them to babies. Yes, Father, for thus it was well pleasing in your sight. All things have been handed over to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except for the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anybody that is the Son's friend. Okay. So here is the yoke thing. Okay. So it says, Come, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke on you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. You shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my load is light. But the way is hard, and few get through it unless you take. Hi, Firefly. Love you, baby. Um, Remember about the gate, the path is narrow and, it's hard to get to heaven. And Jesus is like, if you take my yoke, you don't really even have to take anything with you. It's just going to be a rocky path. It's going to be really hard. Yeah, Jesus' load is light, but the way is hard. And nobody picks up on that. Like Jesus, the yoke is what they put in the mouth to steer the cow, right? To steer the sheep, right? And the the gate is wide and the path is narrow, and few get through there because they don't have the yoke. And if you have the yoke, the path is still hard and it is still rocky. And I don't know why people don't say that. People pretend like, no, if you go to Jesus, everything all of a sudden gets better. No, it's hard to do the right thing. That's why so many people do the wrong thing, because it's so fucking easy. It's hard to do the right thing, but the right thing is a necessary thing. And as long as you got Jesus leading you, you should be fine. It's still going to be hard, though. There we go. I just did some perching. Can we talk about how gangster that is? He said, I didn't come here to be a nice guy. I came here to fuck shit up. I'm like a whole Limp Bizkit song right now. It's like, I'm a Kid Rock song. Yeah, yeah. Show me some metal and say, yeah. Jesus is like a whole death metal song. He's like, I didn't come to be a nice guy. I came to fuck shit up. Everybody's going to fight. It's going to be good time. That was it. That's the whole gangster Jesus. It's like, can we just talk about how fucking cool that is? And then not only that, but he rolled up in their own church. He was saying this shit in their own church. I'm sorry, but Jesus is the baddest motherfucker sometimes. He's like, I know people don't want me calling Jesus a mofo, but man, he's a badass though. Just, he gives no shits about nothing. And then he said, if you love people, you can't be my friend. It's like, well, I don't love anybody. I want to be your friend. Is that just me? It might be just me. No, nobody. Damn it. Am I the only one that sees Jesus that way? Man, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but just, I'm guessing this is why the end of this story affects me so bad, because I have such a view of Jesus. Like, Jesus is a badass, and what happened to him is fucked up, and it's all because people are jealous. And I'm fast forwarding. I'm premonitioning. Is that the word? Premonitioning? I don't know, but I guess I'm going to be done. I'm glad everybody showed up.